Hello, welcome back to Bumble Stitches Flosstube. My name's Nicola and this is my Flosstube episode number 53 on Sunday the 10th of November. It's been 2 weeks since I was here last and I'm quite surprised myself that I'm back in 2 weeks. And whilst this won't be as long an episode as usual, I'm trying to sort of keep up to date with my projects and what I share with you. So hopefully there'll still be enough to be interesting today. I will, there's a warning, there is some Christmas content. So if you're not quite ready for Christmas, I do apologise. But as stitchers, we like to be prepared, don't we? So there's a little bit of Christmas talk a little bit later on in the episode. But a big warm welcome to all the new subscribers. Quite a few of you have joined in, and a big thank you for all your lovely comments on the last video, particularly those on Luna, the rabbit that I shared. She's not with us today. She's still not dressed, so she's had to stay in the other room and stay decent there. But I know that lots of you have mentioned that you're either revisiting Luna projects that you started a while ago, or you're actually starting on your journey now. So that's really exciting. And don't forget to use our hashtag, which is hashtag Luna Lapan Sal, S-A-L at the end, and share your images on Instagram so Paula and I can see them. Well, what have I been up to? Busy at work as always. That never stops, does it? Being busy with just work and home. Did finally get my new car, which was very exciting. So car stitching is much more comfortable now. Must make sure I don't drop any needle minders down the side, which I'm quite prone to do, but I really don't want to do that in the new car. And having a new reliable car meant that I was able to travel up to see Mum yesterday, which was lovely to visit her and save her the drive up to me. So yes, I've managed to get some stitching in, so I shall get on with that in just a moment. And yeah, as I said, there's a few little Christmas bits I want to share with you, and also some quilty plans at the end. Right, so let's get on with the episode then, shall we? No FFOs, I'm afraid, but as I said, I have got some whips to share. Now, the first, living in my autumn bag from the Laurie Holt panel that I shared last time. And I mentioned I was going to start on this project. And this is the Seasons of the Heart by Brenda Gervais. And it's a series of 4 pillows for the 4 seasons of the year. As you can see, sorry for the glare from my light, and I do apologise that it does reflect on my glasses, but unfortunately without the glasses I can't see what I'm showing you, so hopefully you can put up with that. I've started with the autumn design here, and I'll show you my progress on that now. I've got my flosses in the little acorn bag, and let me just get those out so I can share them at the same time. So this is my progress here. As you can see, I've just got some of the acorns on in the border, the owl on the moon, and started on the roof of the house and a couple of the pumpkins that are at the top. Now I'm stitching this on 36 count Zweigart in the colour Flax. The light has just changed. That's it. That's how the fabric looks in real life. I bought a fat quarter and I cut it into 4 equal pieces. They're a little bit too big for the pillow, but I just thought I'd cut it into 4, zigzag the edges so they don't fray. And then I've got the 4 pieces all the same for these pillows as we go through the year, because I would like to get all of them done. My flosses that I'm using are a bit of a mishmash, really. I didn't have all the called for, so I went through. They're in a bit of a jumble. And I've got some classic colourworks on here. I've got some DMC. I've got some of the called for. Some of the Gentle Arts ones. I think Pumpkin Patch and Nutmeg are called for the pumpkins. And I've even got some from Vicky at West Green Loft Dye Studio. So there's lots going on there, but I think those colours will all work. I don't know if I'm going to carry on with this one now. I have started it. I do really enjoy stitching on it though, so I don't want to stop. But as I said, as I have alluded to already, the Christmas stitching vibe is starting to kick in really, really strongly for me. But yeah, as you can see, it's a really adorable little chart there. And now I've taken my Halloween stitched pieces down from display, I've realised that I do need something to sort of fill that gap before the Christmas bits come out. So just to show you them again, that's the spring one. This is not a new chart. This is quite an old chart. I think probably a couple of years old. The summer, autumn, which I've just showed you, and the winter one, which is super cute. And I probably should actually switch my allegiance to winter and get cracking on that one, but we will see. I have got plenty of Christmas stitching lined up. I think this chart is from, I don't know if there's a date in here, it's not dated. Oh, 2022, yeah, a couple of years old, but I think it's fairly readily available, this one. I think I actually got this one in the UK from Peakside Needlework, so it's worth having a look around to see if it's still about, if you fancy it. So let's pop that down and move on to the next whip. Okay, the next whip, I'm actually really pushing for a finish on this one. I'll just pop it on the board. And this is on 40 count linen, which is my first foray into 40 count linen. And this is the Velvet Carrot Needle Book by Stacey Nash. And it's not been as difficult or as challenging as I thought it might be. I work in a hoop, so obviously if your work's in a hoop, you can really get the fabric nice and taut, and that does help open up the holes a little so you can stitch more easily. I'm stitching it one strand of the called for Weeks Dye Works over 2 of the linen threads. Let me just show you the chart and my flosses. So here's the chart, you can see. So all I have left to do is this little bit of foliage and berries. I think they're berries or flowers here. And the stitching on this one is complete, and there's the image of the completed velvet carrot, which I think is super cute. She also has a parsnip, I believe, and I think there's a nectarine and maybe one other, but I really was quite taken with this. I've got some velveteen, which is the one that I'm using for the witch in her garden, which I'm going to show you next, which I think will do the job of both. The flosses are the called for Weeks Dye Works. There's a couple missing that I have swapped into other projects, but I can quickly grab those back. But yeah, I would really like to get this one done. As you can see, it is so close. It's so close. I might actually see if I can finish this one off this evening, and then I need to have a little bit of a finishing party. And that's what really attracted me to this project. I think that the shape of it and being very tactile with that velvet, I think it's going to be a stunning piece when it's finished. And from what I can gather, the instructions in here are pretty comprehensive. It's a bigger piece than you might think by just looking at the image there. And will I use it as a needle book? Probably not. It'll probably just sit and look pretty, but that's absolutely fine. So that's the Velvet Carrot Needle Book from Stacey Nash. So let's pop that one away. I didn't tell you what the fabric was, did I? Actually, I think I've got the tag in here somewhere, if I can put my hands on it. It is, it's stuck to my little post-it note that I put in to say where I popped the thread that I borrowed from this one. It's a handy little tip actually, because I never used to do that, and then the flosses would be missing and I had no clue which project bag they were in. So now I just pop on a little post-it note and I know exactly what project they're in. Yeah, this is a Fibre on a Whim 40 count in Milk and Honey, and I just bought a fat 1/8 because I really wasn't sure how I would get on with 40 count, but I wouldn't want to stitch on it all the time. 36 count really is my sweet spot, but as long as I stitch on it before I move to a lower count, it's okay. I wouldn't want to go from a 36 in the same stitching session. I mean, I wouldn't want to go from a 36 to a 40 because I think my eyes would not be very happy. But to go the other way is like, oh, we're relaxing now, we're back to 36. So that seems to work really, really well. My final work in progress that I have been working on since I saw you last is The Witch in Her Garden by Brenda Gervais. And there's a little bit more progress on here. There's not a huge amount left to do on this, but again, I think the witch might have to go back in her project bag and appear this time or at the beginning of the autumn next year. I'm keeping it now in my little Jamie project bag with all the lovely autumnal colours, and I'll just show you the chart again. Sorry for any glare on this one. And I bought a tiny pumpkin thing. I think I mentioned this last time because I wanted to have a proper pumpkin stem on it when I finish it. And I cut the piece of the actual pumpkin away from it so that I could just keep the stem. And the surrounding probably 1/4 of an inch around that stem is so hard. Even with my largest kitchen knife, I can't actually cut it right back to the stem. So I think I'm going to have to wait till it's completely dry and then see if I can tackle it then. This is the velveteen. Again, I showed this last time. This is the bittersweet from Lady Create. So I'm going to use this for the top of the pumpkin on the drum for Witch in Her Garden. And also I think it will work well for the carrot needle book. It's not a bright orange, but I think it will make a nice sort of primitive looking carrot needle book cover. So that's where I am with stitching at the moment. Let me just quickly refer to my notes because otherwise I will never remember where I'm supposed to be. Next thing I wanted to just have a little show with you of, if that makes any sense at all, is some happy mail that I received. A viewer reached out to me via Instagram, Alison in California, and it was when I'd shown the Seasons of the Heart chart and that I was intending to stitch them. And she said she'd found some little buttons, because if I should have done this when I had it all out, shouldn't I? Let me just go back to the chart so that I can show you. Thought I was so organised, but apparently not. If you're familiar with the chart, you have these little tags on for each of the seasons. And these are actually in the back of the book here, and you can basically cut them out, mount them onto some chipboard or cardboard, punch little holes, make the tags and fix them to your stitching. Or some people have stitched without and you can just continue the border. The choice is yours, but Alison said she'd found these really cute buttons, and this is what she has found, and she kindly offered to send these to me, a set to me. So here you can see the little autumn one. I think they are a little bit smaller than the tags that come in the chart, but I can just extend the border to make these fit, and they're absolutely perfect. So thank you, Alison, that was very kind. She also she sent me a lovely note, and she also sent me some really handy bulb pins. These are great for just popping on your pillows with some little buttons on. So many uses for these. And as if that wasn't enough, again, she sent me this lovely chart from Little House Needleworks, which is Autumn Petites. And you can see there are some really cute designs here. The farmer with his pumpkin, the lovely white pumpkin down the bottom, I like that one. The barn, and the one at the top, which just says fall. So really, really pretty. Alison, that was so kind of you and so generous, and especially to send them from so far away. So thank you very much. And I'm really looking forward to getting the buttons onto my Seasons of the Heart pillows. Okay, I have a small amount of haul. Just a couple of bits and pieces that I've picked up since I saw you last. Now, as you know, the Jingle Ball is happening at the beginning of December, and I have signed up for Stacey Nash's gingerbread. I can't remember the name of the class, but it's a gingerbread sort of sewing, needlebook sewing case type thing. You probably know the one I mean. I haven't got my fabric sorted yet, but I will go through stash. In fact, I've got something here that might work. But I thought I would at least get some flosses sorted. Now, it does call for all week's dye works, but she lists the DMC equivalent. So I was in Hobbycraft. If you're a long-term viewer, you know that my feelings on Hobbycraft and their DMC prices, yeah, they're not great, but I wanted to be organised, so I bit the bullet, bought these. These are the DMC equivalents for that class. I will have a rummage through my week's collection, and if I've got any that are the correct ones, I think I may have one or two, I'll use those and just supplement with the DMC and put the other DMCs into stash. That's no problem at all. So I was happy to get those because I think the PDF chart will be coming through imminently. I think the idea being that you do the stitching of the piece and then you do the finishing in class. So whether or not I'll get that done remains to be seen, but at least I will be organised. So I picked those up. And I also, when I was ordering the Zweigart linen for Seasons of the Heart on Wool Warehouse, I had a quick look at their fabrics, and I got this French General piece, which is for the sewing pocket, the Cherry Garden sampler from the Stitchery Sisters that I showed you last episode. This is the fabric that they had included with their kit, just in a slightly different colourway. So I think that will work really well. I've got a fat quarter of that. And this is one of the Liberty Quilting cottons. But I really like this shade of blue. And again, I've got a couple of projects which you'll see in my little Christmas whips that I'm going to show you soon. That this fabric will make a lovely backing for those pillows and smalls. So just a couple of pieces of fabric. And I also had the opportunity to pop into Northgate Needlecraft, which is in Norfolk here in the UK, just outside of Great Yarmouth. And I picked up a piece of this gorgeous R&R 36 count iced cappuccino. Now this, I had intended this to be for Seasons of the Heart. I'd already ordered the flax, but it hadn't arrived. But I thought, oh, this might work, but it's actually too warm for all of them. But it's a beautiful piece of linen, and it's just really gorgeous. The first piece of R&R I think I've had, but absolutely gorgeous. So that will definitely be put to good use. And of course, my subscription fabric arrived from Vicky at West Green Loft. And it's this gorgeous green. Let me just take this off so you can see. 36 count fat quarter is what I get. And this colourway is Pemberley. Really, really pretty. And I think, I was looking through my charts earlier today, and I've got a Brenda Gervais chart. I can't remember the name of the chart, but I think this is going to be the absolute perfect fabric of it. I will share that with you next episode when I've sort of hemmed myself in a little bit. I've got the ironing board in front of me with everything on, and my trolley at the side of me, and everything's the other side. So otherwise I would have grabbed it to share with you. So those are my little bits of haul that I have acquired. I'll pop those down. I did also get a few flosses while I was in Northgate Needlecraft. They are for these three animal crackers here that are high on my radar. So I couldn't quite get them all, but I've just popped them in the back of the charts, so they're sort of good to go. So I've kind of sort of kitted those up. But because so many of the week's dye works flosses are used across the animal crackers range, I think it might be easier to just pop them all on one floss ring and just keep all the animal crackers in one project bag. So I think that might be something that I sit down and do when I'm getting myself organised. Okay, I am going to move on now to, should we do the winner actually of last, I'm going to do the giveaway winner of last video's giveaway before I move on to the Christmas things. So the giveaway last time was this lovely quilting book, Family Favourites by Sherry and Chelsea. This was kindly given to the channel by Fat Quarter Shop, so a big thank you to them. Lots of you entered. The keyword was family, and the giveaway winner of this prize is Polly Anderson 2554. I'll pop it up on the screen here so you can see. So congratulations to Polly. I hope you have lots of fun with this beautiful book, and thank you to everyone that entered the giveaway. I was a little bit behind on sending prizes out from the previous giveaways, but they have all been posted now. So if you're waiting on a prize from me, I'm so sorry about the delay. Car problems was the biggest reason why I didn't get to the post office, but they are on the way now. So, shall we talk about Christmas? I've got all my whips here, my Christmas whips, and I've got some charts here that are ones that I would really like to at least make a start on in the run up to Christmas. As I said, I think I'll get the Velvet Carrot needle book complete because I do fancy a little bit of a FFO session next weekend. But once that's done, Christmas is happening. I'm going to start stitching on Christmas so that at least I get a couple of new FFOs to add to my display for this year. So I've grouped together the charts into designer to share with you. These are just, they're not kitted up. These are just ones that I would very much like to get kitted up. I'm going to start with Fat Quarter Shop. I shared these last year. You may, again, your long-term viewer, you might have seen these before, but these are a couple of favourites. These are the very vintage style sort of Christmas characters. The Jolly Snowman, we've got Mrs. Claus here, or Lady Claus as they call her. And I think there is there's definitely a Santa, and I think there's another one as well. Might be a Rudolph. I think it is a Rudolph, which I will get by PDF. But I want to stitch these on fairly small count fabric to make them small, but I just love that kitsch sort of 50s vintage Christmas vibe that those have. And these are all in DMC, so should be fairly inexpensive to kit up. So those are high on the Christmas radar. The next couple of charts are from Shakespeare's Peddler, and there's this one, which I think is absolutely just stunning. This is the Pennsylvania Christmas 2. I don't have any linen that's this colour red. I dyed some linen myself for a Valentine's piece earlier this year, but it's very much more of a pinky red. And this is a proper sort of Christmas sort of berry red, isn't it? So I might have to see if I can find some linen to do those on, but just love those. I don't know what size they're on. 36 count Aztec red. I have got some Aztec red in my stash for a tomato project, but I think it's a 32 count. And DMC Ecru is the floss. So again, fairly inexpensive to kit up. And the trim on the edge is the olive chenille by Lady Creates, and I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me right, that I did buy that at the time when I bought the chart. So I need to have a little look in my finishing bits and bobs to see if I do. The next one from Shakespeare's Peddler is this one. Most wonderful. Just really, really pretty. I love all those little Christmas decorations hanging up. I love the buttons on the top. Are they buttons or wooden snowflakes? Just simple, but really, really pretty. This one is stitched mostly in DMC, and this is on a 40 count. But again, you could do it on 36. You can stitch any pattern on any fabric that you want. I think that if you want it to look like the model, then obviously you would follow that, but I think sometimes we get a bit hung up on what the designer has used, and with charts as beautiful as that, you're going to get a great finished pillow, whatever size or count of fabric you use, be it linen or Ada. So that one there. Then we're on to my favourite, Brenda Gervais. I have got Now, I've got a confession. Paula stitched this piece, was it last? No, it couldn't have been last year. I think it may have even been the year before. And I fell in love with it and said, please, can I borrow the chart? So Paula, being the wonderfully organised good friend that she is, popped it in the post to me. And it's this one, basket full of wintertime. And this is one of those pieces that sometimes the photograph doesn't really do it justice. Paula's finish of this was absolutely beautiful. So yes, she sent me the chart and it has just sat in with my chart. So Paula, I am so sorry. I'm keeping it safe. And I think I need to get started on this so I can return it to you. So there's that one. That one is stitched on a 40 count again. Mine will most likely be 36. Combination of Weeks, Gentle Arts, Classic Colourworks on that. So, and lots of sort of typical Brenda colours that you get on her sort of winter and Christmas pieces. So there's that one. And then again from last year, I believe, now have I seen the new Brenda ones for this year? I think there's a Christmas swan, isn't there, and something else. I don't know if I'm going to have time or funds to get those before Christmas, but let's focus on what I do have. This is Reindeer Games, and this is just super, super cute. Again, there was the saga that I couldn't get the wooden ornaments, but that's fine. I can make these work. I might use tart tins or something, or just some little wooden rounds. I'm sure you can pick those up on Etsy. This again is 40 count, makes them 3/4 inches in diameter, and they use mostly DMC, well, mixture, DMC, Weeks, Dyeworks, Classic Colourworks. So super, super cute, love those. And my absolute favourite, which is Snow Magical. I am absolutely obsessed with snow globes. I do love a good snow globe, and this is just super pretty. I'm going to finish mine on a piece of sort of tree trunk that's been cut across so that it's a circle. It has the bark on the outside. I think ultimately it could make quite a nice finish. This one again is 40 count. Because I'm not using the Chantel's Design Company piece, it doesn't matter if I stitch it on 36 count. 40 count gives you 5 inches high by 4 3/4. So it's not quite a circle. Yeah, I'll see. I'll probably stitch it on 36 count. So those are my charts. So let me know if you've started rummaging through your stash of charts and if you've got some Christmas charts lined up that you would like to but as I said, at least make a start on for this year. Once they're started, they've got a chance of being finished. When they're just charts in the basket, they have absolutely no chance of being finished. So let me move on to the, I've got a bit of a pile here of Christmas whips. So I'm not going to spend too much time on them. It just really is a point of reference for myself as well to know what I've got. If there are any that I'm really not keen on going ahead with, and those that are, well, let's have a look. Let's stop waffling and get on with it. So the first one in this bag, I've got a feeling there's more than one in here. I started all of these last year on my 12 days of Stitchmas, but some of them I went back to and I've got some progress on, and there's some other bits and pieces in this bag as well. One thing at a time. Okay, so the first is the Snowball by Brenda Gervais, and I made a small start on one of the pieces here. This is a piece of 36 count vintage country mocha by Zweigart, and I've got all the called for DMCs in this bag. This is a must do. This will be perfect with that fabric I showed you earlier as the backing, and even if I just get 1 or 2 done, I will be happy. I've also got a small chart in here that I'm pretty sure that Paula put in my advent last year. I'm almost certain that came in my advent. And then in here as well, I have got, what have I got? Oh, this was from the West Green Loft Dye Studios Christmas box last year. It was an exclusive at the time, Whilst Iris Snaps, and this is Peace on Earth Drum, and that came with the the fabric for the top. I've got all the DMC flosses in one of those lovely little wax paper bags, and I've got some West Green Loft fabric as well in the colourway Slate Grey. So yes, there's quite a lot in that little bag. Just what's in that bag would be enough to keep me stitching all of Christmas, wouldn't it, in the run up to Christmas and Christmas, but that won't be all, will it? So let's put that one down. This next bag, snowball bag with the missing snowball, you can ask Alfred where that one went. I'm sure he'll deny it. And in here I have, oh, this is the Fat Quarter Shop cookie cutter ornaments. And I did last year during that Stitchmas series, I did the reindeer. It doesn't show very clearly, there's a reindeer there. And I think I made a start on another one. But I can't remember which one it is because all I've got on my fabric is literally that. So who knows, that could have been anything. So that one, the jury's out on that one. I think some other projects might need to take priority over that one. Okay, next up in my gorgeous gingerbread bag. This was definitely part of my advent from Paula last year. Fabric is just delightful. And in here, I bet you can't guess the theme of the project in here. It is, she says, trying to find the chart. It's Whilst Iris Naps again, Christina, and it's G is for gingerbread. Absolutely adorable. And I made a start. This is another West Green Loft Yarns dye studio. Sorry, Vicky used to call her shop was West Green Loft Yarns, but it's now West Green Loft Dye Studio. This is the April Club colourway from 2023, and I've got a very paltry start here. I've just got one bit of a gingerbread man outline, so not very much progress on that one. My plan was, if you watched last year, would be to, I'm going to do two gingerbread, a man and a lady, I'm going to link them up so they're holding hands, and I'm going to do one for Justin and one for me. I've got all the flosses in here. These are all DMCs that I'm using, and I've got the little tiny charms in here as well. I don't know if you can see these. I've got a J there and an N there. That one's gone upside down. Doesn't want to play, does it? Yeah, so they are all ready. So that one's definitely a keeper. So I think that will be really, really cute when it's done. Bit of the chart there, let's pop that down. Okay, next one. In my bag that I made, this was Glitter Village, the abandoned Glitter Village. This was just one part of the village. The rest, sadly, bit the dust, but just 3 houses remained, and I thought I'd pop them on a project bag. So what is living in here? This one is, this is an animal cracker. This is Whitaker by Stacey Nash. I think he was one of the original ones. I'm sure he was. And again, I'm using some of Vicky's fabric. This is Barley, and Whitaker, yeah, he didn't get very far at all, did he? And I'm stitching him with a bit of a combination, DMC Ecru, and I've got some Wicks Dye Works in there. I think I just pulled from Stash for him. But he needs to come to life again. I think I've got some Brenda ones coming up. Another little festive bag. This was from Rachel Makes on Etsy. It's got a jingle bell. And this one is, this is a Brenda. This is Mr. Marshmallow. Absolutely love him. Huge amount of stitching on this cocoa cup here. So progress is actually quite good on him. I've stitched his body. I've done the outline of the cup, obviously there's a huge amount of stitching there, and obviously all the foliage that's coming out of the sides. Now this fabric was an old one from Foxglove, a lady called Hazel, Foxglove Linens I think it was. 36 count evergreen is the fabric, and I'm using all the called for Mr. Marshmallow. There's a bit of a mixture there of all the usual suspects: Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colour Works, Gentle Arts and DMC. So he's definitely staying at the top of the pile. Then onto another bag, a me-made bag. And this one is, now this is Laurie Holt's Vintage Christmas sampler. And I'm stitching this on some fabric from Kate at Crafty Kate. I've gone pink on this one. So I've got 4 done out of the 12. This is all in DMC. And I think these really only come to life once you get the little tiny buttons on them. It's all DMC apart from some Classic Colourworks Snowball. So you think, oh, Nicola, you're being a bit extravagant. Instead of just getting DMC white, I think I had quite a few skeins of this from another project that I bought and abandoned. So I thought I would just make good use of it on this one. And talking of Laurie Holt, Laurie put up her most recent Flosstube since I saw you last. I'm sure you've all watched it. I'm sure maybe some of you have watched it more than once, but absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go and have a watch. She's catching us up on all her projects from the past year, and it is absolutely spectacular. My next project is in a bag from Paula. Paula made this for me for 2 years ago for our Advent swap with all the snow globes. And we're back to a Brenda chart. This one is Merry Old Soul. And I've got quite good progress on him actually. Again, it's getting to the big old chunk of stitching at the bottom. I have to really sort of G myself up when there's big old swathes of fill-in, because I do tend to get a little bit bored. Not that I don't want to do loads of confetti stitching either, but I just need the happy medium, so I have to sort of do it when I'm in the mood for just some fill-in, normally if there's a good film on TV. Fabric for this one is, I'm pretty sure this is one of Paula's fabrics, Eva Faith Linen. This is 36 count in Dove, and I'm using all the called for flosses for Merry Old Soul. And the red is not it's not a typical sort of Christmassy red. It's actually, is it Campfire or is it the chili? Yeah, it's Classic Colourworks Campfire, which when I bought it, I thought that's not Father Christmas red. But when you see it stitched on the grey, it's absolutely perfect. Who am I to question Brenda? Okay, we're getting to the end of the pile now. I hope this is inspiring you to pick up your Christmas stitching, or think about it if you haven't already, and not actually making you hate me for going full on Christmas in this episode. 3 more projects to go. This is a little project case folio that I made from Carrie at Tiger Lily Designs. She's got a PDF pattern, and I made this one using some, I think this is fig tree fabric, and this is like a double-sided. It's got 2 projects in here. So 2 projects, one of which, this has got my 2 favourite girls are in here, if I can be cheeky and call them my favourite girls. So one, of course, is Brenda Gervais, and I've got the Bells of Christmas in here, and I was thinking that Liberty blue and white fabric would be really pretty on the back of these. And let's just quickly look at progress. This is another West Green Loft fabric. This is Calamine, and I've got that much on one of those there. So it's working out well. Again, I have just used all the called for with this. Just a good old mixture of all the different floss manufacturers. There may be a couple of substitutions, but pretty much when I'm stitching Brenda's charts, I try to stick to the called for flosses if I can at all. And if I can get that back in there. And can you guess who my other favourite is in the other side of this? It's Stacey. So Brenda and Stacey are having a hangout Christmas party in this project folder. And this is, I can't remember the name of it without looking, Wonderful Life Pinkeep Drum. Just so classically gorgeous. I think this is just a stunning piece. But it's got a lot of stitching. And I haven't got very far. This is a little bit embarrassing. This is how far my Wonderful Life has got. So, yes, somebody needs to pull her finger out a little bit, I think. And I think I've got called for this one. Lots of weeks, so that tells me it probably is called for. Stacey tends to use weeks. Lily Pad, Merlot, Oscar. I've got so many skeins of Oscar in projects, and when I need one, I can never find one. Schneckley and Grits and a couple of DMCs. So, absolutely beautiful. Spoilt for choice. Do I need to start more Christmas charts? No. Will I? Yes, absolutely, 100%. The final one, not really Christmas, but winter. This is in another Paula bag. I think this is a birthday gift from Paula. I think I've run out of Christmas bags at that point. This is Winter Rose Manor. This is an oldie goldie now. This is sort of like gone into the like legacy stitching, I think, this one. 2018. I bought it when it came out. I started it. But the problem is, well, it's not a problem. The issue I have with it is I love it. I want to get back to it. I've got all my flosses here. Mostly called for. Something's been borrowed. Cattail and Cayenne went into Miss Hazel. Oh, she's stitched now, so they can go back. The issue is this is 32 count linen, and I'm stitching it on with 2 strands, and it isn't my preferred sort of stitching setup anymore, which kind of puts me off a little bit. I mean, it's not so far in that I couldn't start it again, but I'm happy with what I've done so far, so why wouldn't I? So again, I need to just get on, don't I, with that one. So that's all the Christmas stuff. That's what I've got to look forward to. This is why I need to just feel like I need to crack on. We're already pushing our way properly into November now, with it being the 10th. We're in double figures, and before we know it, it will be Christmas. So thank you for indulging me in a wander through those projects and charts. I just wanted to quickly chat to you about a couple of quilty plans that I've got. While we're still talking Christmas, I bought this stack of fat quarters. There's 15 here from the Laundry Basket Quilts Noel range. And there are some really pretty fabrics in here. As you can see, a nice combination of the darker ones, some sort of lighter, low volume ones. I mean, look at this with the birds, stunning. And then through to the full-on Christmassy reds. That one on the back. So there's some lovely fabrics there. I had bought this, and I got a big piece of the this one, which was my favourite for the backing. I bought it with a pattern of theirs in mind, which has got Christmas trees on. But I did Christmas trees on my last quilt, and I feel like I should perhaps mix it up a bit. So I'm thinking of a trip around the world quilt. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. 15 fat quarters. Are you an experienced quilter out there? Can you tell me, can I do a reasonable sized trip around the world with 15 fat quarters? Hopefully I can. I'll pop a picture up here of the Laundry Basket Quilts one, but I think Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch did a really good tutorial on her channel, so I will probably look that up and follow her instructions. And the other thing I really am keen to get started on is the Wensleydale quilt. I've got a big old pile of stuff here, and this is the one that I got at the Festival of Quilts. Let me just show you the actually I can show, it's in this book, Quilt Recipes by Jen Kingwell, which I should pop back over there, and you can see it quite well on here. So this is the pack of the acrylic templates. So this quilt is just scrappy and wonderful, and I just love the whole look of it. I think it's a really, really pretty quilt. And I also got the foundation papers. Now, I've not used foundation papers for quilting before, so yesterday I was sitting watching Laurie Holt doing a tutorial with her economy block papers, and this is actually, I would say, a very similar, I mean, I'm sure the technique is the same for foundation paper piecing, but this is a very similar kind of block to economy block in the way that it just sort of radiates out from the centre. So her instructions were fabulous as always. I've ordered myself from Amazon one of those add a quarter rulers with the little lip to help cut back the seams when you're foundation paper piecing. And I went through my stash. Now, do I get this out of the bag? I won't get it all out of the bag. And sorted through lots and lots and lots of fabrics, scrap, you know, odds and ends and bits and bobs and all sorts, fabrics that I think can go into the Wensleydale quilt, and I'm sure I'll be able to add more as I go through it. So that is high on my radar as well. So can I please have another extra 3 or 4 hours a day, please? If anyone can figure that one out for me, that would be much appreciated. This has actually gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, this episode, so I hope that's okay. Yes, and all that is left to say is that thank you very much for joining me again, and I will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Take care. Bye-bye.